Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the Suns take a loss in Game 6 in Dallas, 113-86, and the Dallas Mavericks will be able to force a Game 7 coming up in Phoenix. And, this game, as you can see by the score, wasn't a whole lot of fight put up by the Phoenix Suns. And the thing about it is, you have 22 turnovers, 8 of them by Devin Booker, and 5 of them by Chris Paul. And then off of those turnovers, you had 28 points. You lost by 27. Every point off a turnover contributed to the deficit that you lost by Phoenix. That's pretty much the end of the story. Luka Doncic turns the ball over only once, has 8 assists, meaning he was looking for his others and they was hitting shots. Your Reggie Bullocks, Spencer Dinwiddie showed up tonight. He had a good game with 15 points, very efficient. You were getting Jalen Brunson carving you up on the inside. Kleber rebounding. This is a great night for Dallas. The defense they was putting on Devin Booker tonight was why those turnovers were as horrible as they were. This man was running into walls in every possession. It seemed like he was running into 2 bodies, 3 bodies. Every angle he drive toward, he was running into help defense. It was special stuff that the Dallas Mavericks was doing. And it just reminds me of the genius of Jason Kidd. He displayed this basketball genius as a player on both sides of the floor. So schematically, you could see how his game plan reflects how he focused on both sides of the ball. This Dallas Mavericks team plays like he did. And when Luka Doncic is looking for others, you really facilitate his wishes. But as long as Luka's only getting 2 assists and jacking up 100 shots, breaking all of them, yeah, you're going to have games like they had in Game 5. I'm telling you, if he would have played properly in Game 5 and made sure everybody was going, this series is over. They closed it tonight. You see what I'm saying? So it's certain things you just wish you didn't do if you're the Dallas Mavericks, but however it played out, it led up to you being here. And the good thing about it is Spencer Dinwiddie is trending upward, which is not something I've said at all in these playoffs, but he looked good tonight, and that is something that looks very, very, very promising going into a Game 7. Now, DeAndre Ayton still underutilized in my opinion. He had a double-double tonight, 21 points, 10 rebounds if I'm not mistaken. Needs more touches. They can't guard him. I don't get it. I really don't get it. But I will say that their defense tonight was fantastic. Jason Kidd made the adjustment, put Dwight Powell back on the floor a little more tonight. I think that was a good thing. Let's see. You didn't get a whole lot of bench production out of other people, but I think it's because he shrunk his bench. He really only saw Maxi Kleber and Spencer Dinwiddie basically with the majority of the minutes, it seemed, looking at the box score. Cam Johnson, Cam Payne didn't really play very much. He came in, jacked up about 4 shots, bricked them all, they set him down. But Cam Johnson, nothing. Just nothing. No show. I don't know what happened there. Just nothing. Game doesn't travel. I can't call it. Biyombo played a little bit. Not a whole lot of production there. Landry Shamet, I don't remember exactly what his stats was, but there was something negative about it. I just wish it retained in my head. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I saw him do some really good things, particularly looking to make passes for Ayton, dribble penetration passes to Ayton. I thought he played a really good floor game in the time that I saw him, but it was something about his stats. I just don't remember what it was. I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, the Phoenix Suns just didn't do enough. They just didn't come to play. Chris Paul, I don't know where you are. Ever since your birthday, you ain't showed up. I don't know what's going on. I said in the last game, he did a good job of making sure others got involved, but no scoring. 7 points in the last game. This one, not much more than that. 2 rebounds. I don't know what guys are doing. And when you're in a situation where you have a chance to close the team out, you got to bring a certain level of intensity. And I look at the Golden State Warriors. They act like they didn't know what that was about. I look at the Phoenix Suns. They act like they don't know what that's about. It's like, what's going on with these teams in the Western Conference at this point? Which one of y'all really want to come out and do something? Because it just seems to me it's the teams that are that are supposed to be the underdogs in these series. Could we really see a Memphis Grizzlies, Dallas Maverick Western Conference Finals because the Phoenix Suns and the Golden State Warriors can't get their act together? Because these series should not be going to Game 7. Neither one of them. Especially without John Morant in that one. So I don't know. I'm just looking at these two teams. I'm like, man, I mean, you want to believe in them, but they leave you little room. When it's time to take care of business, they don't show up. And I tell you, this Phoenix Suns defense is overrated, man. I said it in the Pelican series, and now that we've played 6 games of this, it's overrated. They have excellent defensive players. They tend to play excellent team ball, but it does not sustain for 48 minutes. It does not sustain for 7 games in a series. They come and go. Their perimeter shot, they struggled that. It was a little better tonight. I think they shot 33%. That's pretty good for Phoenix, to be honest with you. In the 30% range, that's good for them. But I mean, I hate to say it, but it was Devin Booker who missed 4 of them. Everybody else was somewhat efficient. You take away Devin Booker's 8 turnovers and his missed 4 threes, and you have a really good situation there. And I'm not necessarily blaming him. I'm accrediting the defense. But the point is, you got to move away from stuff that ain't working. If you see that they've built a wall around Devin Booker, you got to move off. You got to move on from Devin Booker. You can't let him be the guy that's hoisting up all the shots. Now you got to facilitate toward Ayton. I tell you, in-game adjustments for NBA head coaches in playoff games is an underrated attribute. It ain't just about the adjustments you make from game to game. It's about recognizing something that isn't working and audibling out of it in real time. It is a skill. And if you don't have it, you are not going to beat a team's coach who does have it. And Jason Kidd has it. Jason Kidd makes adjustments right away. Something ain't working, hey, moving on from it. And Monty, you got to do the same, man. When you see Devin Booker out there getting just hammered, you're not Brooklyn. You're not rendered to just 2 players you can facilitate your offense through. You got a million different things you can do with that roster, man. You got to move on from Devin Booker in that situation. You got to be able to switch your style of play up in game. And that's a hard thing to do. It takes a lot of continuity. But I look at the Phoenix Suns and say they've been together for a couple years. So if anybody should be able to pull it off, it's them. I don't expect it from Philly. I don't expect it from some of these teams that just been together for 5 minutes. But Phoenix, who was in the finals last year, yeah, they are the team that should be able to pull this off. To be able to audible out of stuff. To be able to say, yo, Devin Booker, they got a game plan that's working. Let me just go ahead and try to see if we can use plan B. See if we can run some few more things through someone else. And move that way. And if you're capable of doing that, you win a game like this. You fight your way back into this game because you effectively removed their game plan from the equation and gave them something else to adjust to themselves. That is how winners win. That's why I think having a great coach is so important. And I think Monty Williams is a great coach. He won Coach of the Year. But this has not been his best playoffs. This has not been his best playoffs. And so, I look at the Phoenix Suns and say, man, I don't know. I mean, luckily enough for them, this game is in their house. I picked them to win the series. I mean, these games and these playoffs are so unpredictable. There is no outcome in Game 7 that will surprise me at this point. I'm not leaning any one way or another. I don't believe that I've seen anything that could help me understand what's going to happen in Game 7 at all. Because at the end of the day, it's about who wants it more in a Game 7. That's all it is. It's about effort and heart. Who's going to show up? And I look at Chris Paul and I say, man, you have fought so hard to get these teams to where they've been these last 3 years. These young teams that he's been a part of, he's gotten them way farther than they need to go. Expected to go, rather. But this year, he has a real chance at a championship. Last year, he was so close. But yet, so far, because Giannis was so much better than anybody that he could throw on him last year, they didn't have the size that they got this year. This year, they got Biyombo to throw at him. This year, they got JaVale to throw at him. They got the size they needed to throw at Giannis. They should be ready for Giannis. And they can't get past Dallas? Because Chris Paul don't want to attempt more than 7 shots in a game 6 to close them out on the road, fam. If you're not leading the charge in Dallas, who's going to do it? Jason Kidd made a decision tonight, it seemed to me, that he was going to take everything from Devin Booker. Devin Booker was not going to be the guy to beat him tonight. If Devin Booker was going to do anything, he was going to do it in a pinball machine. And Luka Doncic was going to take care of the ball. He was going to be careful with everything that he did. He made good shots tonight. He made good things happen for himself. They took care of things on the offensive side of the ball so that your defense was rendered obsolete. You got to be able to make offensive adjustments in situations like that. Would it have helped if Phoenix continued to shoot as poorly as they had been from behind the arc? Yeah. Their normal 18 and 20% probably would have been a lot better for you guys. But unfortunately, they upped that tonight. You know? And it's like, I don't know. I just look at it and I say, now, going into Game 7, I still believe that the Phoenix Suns have the unguardable player on the floor. The only player on the floor that there is no matchup for. It's not Luka Doncic. It's DeAndre Ayton. And I'm telling you, if they feed him as much as I've been saying they should, they win every game they're in. But they're just using him as an afterthought. They're focusing more so on him defending. And my thing is, they don't have bigs that require you to have him be that focused defensive to the detriment of the offensive side of the ball, especially when he's more so of an offensive player. He's not Bam Adebayo. DeAndre Ayton's a bucket getter. In fact, when he was drafted, he was somebody who was supposed to have a 3-point shot in his arsenal. Kind of gotten away from that in Phoenix, which I'm perfectly fine with because he's excellent in the paint. Which is why I'm telling them to get him the ball in the paint and let him go to work on Dwight Powell. And anybody else they throw at him. Maxi Kleber, they're getting dunked on. I'm not saying the man is Shaq, but he would be Shaq to them if you used him properly. I think it's too much perimeter play. It's too much Bookers, too much guys just jacking up shots and around the perimeter. It's unnecessary. You got opportunities to get easy buckets. JaVale McGee, easy lobs. The guy's taller than everybody. You got Chris Paul. Lob him twice, 3 times a game. That's 6 easy points right there. You can't tell me you can't get JaVale McGee 2 lobs a game. You cannot tell me that. Little things like that, man. As well as he runs the floor, as good as he and Ayton should be able to run the floor together, I would give myself such size advantages in key moments when the opportunity arises. I mean, it's just little things, little things that you can try to give yourself a different look so that you're not as predictable to get schemed against the way you were tonight. That's all I'm saying. Played right into Dallas' hands on both sides of the floor. And that's why they whooped you down today. That's why it happened. So I'm looking at Game 7 and I'm just like, all right. It's led up to this. Dallas has overachieved, I'd say. I don't think they're the better team, but they've played better. Guys like Dorian Finney-Smith and Reggie Bullock, the defensive side of the ball, Maxi Kleber, they played that side of the ball well enough. And of course, Phoenix not making them pay for it, for what we're just saying. They played the perimeter well, And now they have an opportunity to get to the Western Conference Finals. In a time where you're seeing a lot of young players get an opportunity to step up. Luka Doncic has an actual opportunity to get to the Western Conference Final, and this is not something we saw coming. So I'm just very curious to see what's going to happen here. A part of me thinks Chris Paul is going to do exactly what he needs to do, play the perfect game, just like he did to close out the Pelicans, not miss a shot, not turn the ball over, get a bunch of assists, and close them out. I think that's a reasonable bet. But the problem is how bad he's looked these last 3 games. I don't know what shifted when he had his birthday. I don't know what happened, but something happened. There was a shift there, and it wasn't good. And he needs to find a way to get back to who he is right now. Because this is his best shot at a championship. And it may be his last shot at a championship. Simple as that. My name is BDL44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.